Hey guys, welcome back to Texas Cooking Today. This episode is all about smokers. I want to teach you how to set a smoker up, how to use a smoker, the nuances of the different parts of the smoker, and how to make them work the right way. Should you burn wood? Should you use charcoal? Should you get electric? Should you go propane? You know, we want to look at this and kind of explore all of it and see how smokers are set up and how they're operated. So I want to show you all of this today. I'm going to show you my method, which uses charcoal and wood. There are other kinds of smokers though, guys. There are electric smokers, there are propane fired smokers, there are some smokers that use propane and are electric. Those have like a delivery system to drop these wood pellets into a tray where they get burned off with gas fire, but the electricity provides the pellets and runs the, I believe, a thermostat on the thing. Now that kind of a smoker, while they're kind of convenient, traps you into purchasing only a proprietary product. In other words, you have to use their wood pellets in order to operate that particular smoker. And I think that's kind of a bummer. I want a smoker that operates on wood that I can get anywhere, and where I can use charcoal or wood or both. Something that's a little more versatile. Now also in electric smokers, some of those are really neat also. The cool thing about these electric smokers is their ability to maintain the exact correct temperature throughout the entire smoking cycle. Doing it with wood is a little more nuanced than that. You can't just set it up and expect it to do its own thing. You have to operate it and make the temperature come out right. And that takes a little bit of skill. So what I'll be showing you today is the wood method. We're going to be using an offset smoker. But a lot of the lessons that come with this video will cross over to the electric smoker or the gas-fired smoker when it comes to setting it up for the right amount of airflow and things like that. So guys, you need to take a look at this. It's a really cool video on smoking. And so anyway, we're going to get into how to set this thing up and how to operate it right. This is all about smokers. Let's take a look. Okay guys, I'm out here with my old beat up offset smoker. I have my starter chimney right there to start up my fire with, but I wanted to go over what an offset smoker is first and how it works. Down here on the side of your offset smoker, you have what's called a firebox. This is where you put the fire, guys, in the firebox. Okay, on the side you have a door with a damper in it that allows air through there, all right? And this helps you to clean it out when you need to. We're going to be keeping this closed except for that damper so we get good airflow through there for the fire, and then it will release its smoke through that little hatch on the side into the smoke chamber. Now your smoke chamber, right up in here, that's where all of the action happens. You have some grates there. You're going to be putting your meat on those grates, and after that we're going to sit and smoke it for hours. It just does its own thing once it's in there. But in the bottom of that smoke chamber you need a big pan, and you want it filled with hot water, and that fire will help to keep it even warmer, and it will release some moisture into your smoke chamber, thereby keeping the meat a little more supple, and it produces just a better quality smoke. So guys, I'm going to light that chimney real quick. These things are filled up with newspaper on bottom is what you use, and just put your charcoal up in there. A large one like this is about 5 pounds of charcoal, so don't underestimate what these things can do and how well they do it. Just light that paper, set it on the grate so you get good airflow up through there. It is important. Now this thing is going to smolder and smoke for a little bit, but as that paper lights up, it will light the charcoal. The charcoal will quickly light from the bottom on up, and when it ashes on top, we're ready to start cooking. This usually takes about 20 minutes, guys, and the beautiful thing is you get a clean flavor without that nasty kerosene flavor that a starter fluid will give you. And if you say you don't taste that, well, a lot of people have been conditioned through the use of it so much over the years they don't even notice it, but when they do without it, wow, I'll tell you what, you can sure taste the difference. Let's give this some time and we'll be making barbecue. Okay guys, we have several smokers that we are setting up for use today. And I wanted to give you a full going over with multiple different kinds of smokers. That way you have some real idea of what you're doing here. Now, something that we're looking at right here, these are lighting chimneys, okay? The best way to light your charcoal is going to be with one of these chimney starters. Put your charcoal in the top. Let me get down here. We put our paper in the bottom. And what I like about this particular smoker, it allows me to just reach up under and light that sucker up. So once you light that paper, the paper quickly lights the bottom row of charcoal. From there, that bottom roll of charcoal will light up the rest. Now guys, look at these flames. This is exactly why I like to use a starter chimney. The briquettes on top are not lit yet, but they will be very soon. The beautiful thing is all you have to do is light those bottom bricks. From there, the chimney does its job, pulling air up from the bottom, pushing the heat up through the charcoal and lighting everything up quickly without any petroleum products. The bad thing about using that lighter fluid is it is going to give the inside of your grill this oily coat that will cause your foods to end up tasting like kerosene. Not a good thing. Guys, when your charcoal ash is over, go ahead and take that and put it right down there in your firebox. Be careful, don't get burned, wear gloves. Guys, our charcoal has ashed over on top. This only took about 20 minutes to get it to this stage, and right now it is an inferno in there. Make sure when you do this, wear gloves, okay? Otherwise you're gonna get burned. These things get really, really hot. There it is. Now guys, when you're setting up your smoker, getting balance on that temperature is sometimes easier said than done. And if you will notice, we have two of the exact same kind of smokers here, actually three, and they are all three running at different temperatures. Yet they were all three set up at the exact same time. The charcoal was lit at the same time. There was the same amount of charcoal used each time. Now inside, here in the bottom, you'll notice I have some metal pans, and those have hot water in them. And of course, my fire down here. And this shows you well how your firebox is exposed well to the primary smoke chamber on a smoker. Yeah, it's a busy day here in Dallas, and we're getting our fire set up. I'm going to leave my damper open a couple of inches as I close this lid. The whole idea here, guys, I want to get a lot of heat over here in my firebox. Now, I'm just going to wipe off any extra ash. I want to use my hot water here. See, that thing had transferred so much heat that water just sizzled right up in that pan. So there's a lot of heat down in there. But I need to trap that heat in my smoke box, get this thing as hot as I can. And once I get that heat stabilized, brought up and then stabilized back down at 225, we will then put our meat in there. Now guys, controlling the heat on your smoker is a matter of this little door right here. And you'll notice there's a little hatch on it that opens up. Now they call that a damper. The door it's on, they call a damper door. All right, and the whole idea there is to pull air in for the fire. But it also allows you to control how much air goes into that fire and how hot the fire will be. So if your fire's too hot, we close that a little bit. Like you see, this one is closed down a little bit. It was to get this smoker set at the right temperature. I've closed the other ones a little bit more because they were higher in temperature. Even though we use the same amount of charcoal on each, we're running into the situation where each smoker is its own little creature. And every one of them, each time you set it up, is going to be a unique experience. So you have to be there to kind of tend it, to bring it into what it needs to be. Now we have those three that are alike, and I have two over here that are different. One that's a smaller of that same brand, and then a whole different brand in the back. And the thing of it is each one of these requires their own degree of attention, and they're each going to have their own quirks. So each one's going to cook differently for me, although they'll do the exact same job. Okay, so let's go ahead to reduce that temperature. I want to bring that damper door in, latch it, and just use the air inlet right there. And I've got that full open at the moment. If that gives me a good temperature and a good constant flow of smoke, that's what I'm going to go with, and that's when we're going to start putting our wood on top of the fire and get the meat out here also. Now guys, when it comes time to get the smoke rolling, of course we've got our fuel source in here. Let's open this up. You see our charcoal down in here. Now here's the real trick on this. What I like to do is I'll take my wood and I'll place it around the sides up on that metal. You see that back there? And I'll do that all the way around, right up in the front also, like this. And what that does is it prevents the wood from immediately firing up, but it allows it to slowly smolder. Isn't that too neat? And I'll place it all the way around it, and then we'll have good smoke. Now guys, look at this smoke. It has a nice color. It's blue, okay? It's not grayish, it's blue. And that's exactly what we're looking for. However, it is a bit on the thick side, and if we look at our temperature, then we will notice right down here, it's a bit on the high side. I don't ever want my temperature over 250 degrees on my smoke box. And there's a good reason for it, guys. That meat, if it hits too high of a temperature on the outside, it's not going to take in smoke. In other words, the nitrates and the flavor of the smoke the same way it would had this temperature been kept low. So I want to keep that down closer to the 200 degree mark. Between 200 and 225 is smack on the dot perfect. And that's where you get that really good flavor barbecue. Okay, now even though that dial says barbecue on the right above 250 degrees, that's sort of erroneous. Okay, that's not quite correct. When it comes to good smoking, which is what barbecue is, smoked meat, then you got to keep the temperature low and slow, guys. That's the rule, low and slow. So I'm going to close my damper so I can bring that temperature down just a little more. And once I get it down below 225, I can then consider putting my meat out here, but not until. Now guys, I can't stress this enough. Let's look at our smoke. See how it has a lightly blue color to it? It's not billowing, it's just kind of wisping out of here. Yes, we have a little rain coming. We have the same condition on each of our smokestacks. Blue, not billowy, just wisping out, nice and gentle. All of our smokers, we've got our temperatures just right on all of these, but there's one issue, and that is that each one of these has a different setting on its damper in order to get that even temperature. Well guys, there it is. As you can see, there's a lot to operating smokers, and even though you have two of a kind side by side, doesn't necessarily mean they're both going to operate exactly the same. Where they're setting, the airflow, the temperature where they're at, do they get direct sun, do they not? There's a lot of things that really affect these things, so you kind of got to learn the nuances of using your smoker. Some of us, like myself, we seek out cloudy days. A cloudy, overcast day is perfect for smoking because it gets a little bit easier to regulate the temperature on that smoker. You're not having the sun heated up. You're allowing only your fire to heat it up, and it's easy to get better smoke that way. Anyway guys, there you have it. That was a lot on smokers. I hope this answered your questions, and if it didn't, do me a favor. In the comments down below, if you would just leave a comment or a question or request or whatever, and I'll do my best to see what I can do to fulfill that for you. I do appreciate you watching. If you would, please hit the subscribe button. If you haven't done so, please click the like button. And guys, please just have a really good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.